Afternoon all, welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday, 23rd of June. Loads to go through today. Going to touch on loads. I mean, there's loads going on. There's loads being shared across the media. There's loads of bits they're even putting out now for those who aren't awake or can't really figure out what's going on. They're giving you massive hints, and I'll go through that as well. I hope you're all having an amazing week, an amazing day. It's absolutely beautiful out today, so I'm just down getting some sun before I waddle off to the gym. So, what's happened so far this week? So, I'm sure you all saw Ascot took place for the wealthier people, shall we say. I believe there was something like 15,000 a day there. They were having a lovely time, all drinking, singing God Save the Queen. Don't think they were singing that once the truth's out, do you? But there we go. Yeah, but then normal old average working Joe can't do anything. Even little things. So if that's not raising alarm bells to you, another thing, the Euros 2020, even though I know it's 2021. So you've got a lot of games where there's 5,000 or 6,000. Then all of a sudden they go to the game, was it Hungary, Portugal? I think it was. 67,000 of that. I mean, come on, wake up. They're showing you how silly these rules are. I mean, there was even 2 England players have to self-isolate because they spoke to a Scottish player, but the Scottish team don't have to self-isolate, just the 2 England players. Come on. I mean, it is absolute farce. It is worse than 40 Towers now. And if you're not cottoning on to it, or maybe you are. I know a lot of people who watch this channel will definitely know. Sorry, I'm moving the camera about a bit. I'm sure a lot of you who come here regularly will know. Also notice that YouTube are taking a lot of views off me that are going on, then all of a sudden they're taking them off. As I say, I didn't do this channel for views. It doesn't bother me. But I'm sure it's just to suppress how the video gets out there, because we all know they don't like the truth. So before I go any further, I'd just like to state the usual for YouTube's benefit. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an MP, thank God for that. I'm not a pharmacist, I don't work for the airlines. Everything on here is just through my own research that you can find in the public domain on such websites as NHS England, CDC, FDA, Medina, Pfizer, all their websites, numerous, all in the public domain, including the government website for England. So, one thing I do want to start on today, and I think I don't work for the airlines, so touching on that. So there's a lot of news going around at the minute that there's a lot of flights being halted, even though a lot of us can't fly. Actually, there's another one to talk about, Euros there as well. So there's flights being halted all across the world, and they're saying it's down to lack of staff. Now, reports I've seen, and I believe it was on Boris's broadcasting channel, there were 4 British Airways pilots who unfortunately passed away recently, and allegedly 2 of those actually whilst the plane was in the air, all from blood clots, all who'd actually allegedly had both jabs. Now, this has also affected American Airlines and affected, I think it's Indian Airlines. They've also had instances happening. Now, what I've heard, it's not saying it's true, as I always say, it's only alleged. Now, the companies that insure all these pilots and these airlines have picked up on it, and now they're refusing to give insurance for anyone who's had the double jab, which is fair enough. You can understand that. Now, I did mention this a while back in one of mine, saying to people who are considering getting the jibbity jab, you won't allow you to fly because you won't be able to get insured because of that exact thing, and because you're part of a clinical trial. So it's already coming out on that. I said this months and months ago this would happen. Talking about flying, back onto the Euros, our government, this will prove, which I keep saying to people, they're passing laws without you knowing about it, passed a law via UEFA because UEFA wanted for the semi-finals and finals, which are going to be at Wembley, they obviously want more people than 5,000-6,000 there. So they've actually passed a law to government to say that anyone travelling, if they're invited, I don't know, get invited by the FA, I don't know, you don't have to self-isolate. So there's another one for you. So they can change the rules to suit them. So yeah. So a lot of pilots now are grounded on the flight. There's also marches going on at the minute in London. There's going to be a massive one on the 26th, this Saturday. So anyone who can get down there, get down there. They are expecting 2 million people this time. Yep, you did hear me right, 2 million. The last one had well over 1 million. Nothing on the in the tabloids, nothing on the news channels, come on, I mean, I don't expect anything less because they're part of all this agenda anyway. They're just covering the backs of the elected lot. So talking about that, all this, if you're new to my channel, you need to go through all my videos, back uploads, whatever you want to call them, because I've actually gone into this a bit more. I have to be very careful what I say and how I say it for certain reasons. Now, all of this is only a scratch on the surface with what's going on with Rona, okay? As I've always said, it's still not been isolated, still hasn't now. There's even a lady on brand new tube who went in and voice recorded everything in one of the vaccination centres. Amazing, you should watch it. If you're not clued up, go on there. It's easy to find, just go on the latest videos and you'll find it. It's about 30 minutes long, and everything I've been saying, she asked the question, so hats off to that woman, absolute legend. Give her a thumbs up if you see it. So yeah, I've been exposing a lot more, and there's loads more truth channels out there, not just me, who are exposing this, but they don't like the truth coming out, so they will try and shut us down. So a lot of this stems, it all interlinks, guys, all throughout the world, through to the 8 million children who go missing per year around the world. Yeah, you heard me right, 8 million. Which is, there's a lot of links to elected leaders around the world, to royal families, big tech companies, CEOs. Have a look into how many CEOs resigned. You probably have to do it through DuckDuckGo, who resigned in 2020. Tens of thousands throughout the world resigned. Well, should we say we got asked to resign before their tribunals. Then you've got Hollywood, Disney. There's loads, absolutely loads involved. And you might think I'm a loon, but I'm not. It's all coming out, and it's all for a little thing called adrenochrome. And what they do to these poor children is disgusting. If you go on to one of my uploads and going to need a bigger boat, I do touch on it a little bit there. So yeah, for instance, a lot of people ain't picking up, Buckingham Palace has been empty for over a year now. You've got to understand, CGI is very, very good, and doubles and whatever else they use, some of them are awful. I can't believe that people still think it's the same person, but they're getting away with it. Buckingham Palace, as I say, has been empty, but I have heard some reports that there's been some movement around there. Now that, along with Washington DC and Gitmo, I believe that's where some the military tribunals may be taking place. If you don't know what I mean by that, you're going to have to do your own research, guys and girls. As I always say, I know because I say it doesn't mean it's true, but it is. But you do need to do your own research, as you need to do your own research into the jib or the jab. If you've not had it, there's a great site called Yellow Cards, which is supposed to report any adverse reactions to the jab. And now the people who are doing the Yellow Cards are relaying that they only believe that as small as 10%. I have touched on this before. Now there is an interesting stat for anyone thinking of having jib or jab, or anyone thinking of, and I can't even think how you do this as a parent. I don't think you're a parent. I'm sorry if it triggers people, but I think it's child abuse if you do. Who's thinking of giving them the jib or jab. So the survival rate with the Rona is around 99.7 across the board. Young uns, it's a lot. It's like 99.9997, because there's literally, I think, any kid that dies is too many, don't get me wrong, but there's literally no harm to children. Government said this. Who have said this? Go on their websites. You can watch the videos of them saying it. Now, but it's like silly things like the average age of death in this country, in England, is 81. The average age of death with COVID is 82. Rona, sorry. So if you get Rona, you'll live a year longer. Makes sense of that. We all know the stats are all made up and falsified anyway on the mainstream. And there's another stat that I found. So allegedly, I'm only alleging this, as I mentioned a second ago, it's the survival ratio is around 99.7. So if you don't understand percentages, that's like 0.3, not even 0.5% off 100%. Yeah. So I just can't fathom why people are even considering this. I know a lot of them have been brainwashed. Now there's a stat come out I've seen. I don't know how true it is. I think it'll be worse than what I'm going to say, but allegedly, if you take the jib of the jab, your chance of survival at 85%. So how can that be better, taking something that gives you a higher chance of leaving this world? I'll leave that with you. As I say, do your own research. Yellow cards, Office of National Statistics, NHS, Gov websites. They're all in the public domain, guys and girls. All you have to do is take 5 minutes out of your day, maybe not as many selfies for some of you, or not playing computer all day, and educate yourselves. This is all going to come out, as I say, Nazara Jazara's just round the corner. We're just waiting for the first domino to topple, which I believe will happen anytime soon. And I think the first lot's going to be to do with the audits in America. The first lot's just about done, and the findings are incredible. I knew all along it was a dodgy one, shall we say. And the first public arrest is going to wreck the world. They reckon it's going to shock the world. Now, as I've stated before and stated in loads of mine, there's been arrests going on for the last couple of years. There has been tribunals. They will be showing this once the 10 days of darkness begins. So, another one I want to touch on, we're talking about children. I watched one of the morning breakfast channels, I think you can call them, and there was a lady on there called Rosie Millard, right, who's like something to do with the Boris's broadcasting channel, and she's advocating for children to be jabbed without parental consent. This woman, in my opinion, needs to be arrested now. You can't go around saying that. That is absolutely disgusting. You only have to look into America and Israel for the reports of what's happened to under 18. I think it's under 18. It could be as much as under 25s, to be fair. But there's loads of really bad stuff coming out, like kiddies dying from heart inflammation and things like that. So yeah, that's all I've got for today. Hope keep your vibrations high, everyone, and just keep smiling. As I always say, be nice to anyone you meet, whether it's in the street, the park, at work, or in the comment section down below. Loads of love and light to you all. I'll see you again next week. Take care. One love.